Good evening and welcome to my end of the week recap here for SPY and trade plan for next week. Here on Monday, nothing was done. Tuesday had a nice breakup, little bull flag, gap down. Sellers had absolutely no strength in it, and my algo actually had a very nice trigger here. Ran up almost all the way to the end of the day. Sadly, though, I was unable to take that trade. But at the end of the day, I did let the trade crew guys know if this broke above 297.10, I believe is the level as far as the bids. I was going to take these end of the month 305 calls here. So I got in some at 45 cents. As you can see, very small position. I doubled up on the gap up here on Wednesday, added at 70 cents. So right now I'm average just under 60. Came down to I think just below break even here on Wednesday and Thursday, and have now gone over 100% from the initial entry here at 45 cents on Tuesday. So already up tremendously on this position, although it is not a huge position, but this is simply a great way to utilize options. Very nice returns on minimal capital being used. Anyone who says this market is only good for scalping, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you need to rethink who you're following and who your trading quote unquote mentor is. There's a lot of educators out there that are trying to sell their services that are very inefficient in their trading, and just hopefully people don't follow those guys too far. It's a recipe for disaster, a lot of extra mental stress and potentially blown accounts. So anyways, onto this trade. My target to take some off is right here around 303.10-ish area, which is the upper end of this ascending resistance. Now, just because it's a line up there, it's just a line between 2 points I've drawn. Maybe there's going to be some algorithmic selling up there, maybe. We'll see what happens, but probably going to have at least some volume come in up there, which will confirm participation at that level. And whatever happens at that level will tell us whether or not it's bullish or bearish. So for the time being, I'm holding. We'll see what happens. Onto the daily time frame. Once it loads, pull up my trade plan as well. Nice gap above this little 2-day triangle that had formed, which happened here. It happened on this multi-day below pullback. As of right now, price action is extremely bullish in my opinion. You have price above the 8 EMA, which is above the 21 EMA, which is above the 50 SMA, and well above the 200 SMA. So very bullish, both technically and algorithmically. And my notes actually have not been updated apparently, so we'll go ahead and do that now. At the 8 EMA, if it does pull back down here, I will look for 299 calls with 2 weeks of time. Now, I'll say 299 calls simply because tomorrow, Monday, this will probably open up around, I don't know, we'll call it 280, 298 and a half-ish area. I want to go to the next strike up out of the money for the calls. So same thing with the 21 EMA down here. I will look for approximately 296 calls. And same thing applies at the 50 SMA, but since this one does not have as steep of a slope, I don't have to go as far out into the future, or out of the money, excuse me. I can go 290 calls with a little bit more time because, as I said in my Apple video, I believe the 50 and 200 SMA is going to be much longer term support and probably will cause a longer term rally at those levels if they are tested. I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying it's very unlikely, like I said, in Apple for SPY to come down that far that fast. So we'll see what happens with that. Now on to E-mini futures, because I always want to touch on that. This chart's a lot cleaner than the SPY. Now the near-term bull flag that I have drawn on here, target is around 30.50. We are inching our way up to there. Another interesting chart that I had drawn for I don't even know how long. I believe it started back here in December, was this bull flag triangle pattern has formed, and we've now tagged that target. Now, I did not hold a position all the way from there to where we're at now. Anyone that says they have is most likely lying. If you bought down here, this drop right here most likely took a lot of participants out simply because that's a fairly steep drop. Was about a 5 to 10% drop from that peak. So no self-respecting trader or investor would hold through that kind of a move lower before jumping back into something. So anyways, has hit that target, and I'm looking for the target around 3,050 here for E-mini futures. Now on to the weekly time frame. I believe this is a bullish engulfing week. What was Monday? Or it was close to a bullish engulfing week, something like that. But anyways, it was a bullish hammer candle that came down and retested this previous resistance area. So anytime support is broken and price is now below it, it would become a resistance. Vice versa, anytime resistance is broken and price is above it, should be considered support. So change this to green and see if that holds going forward. Now, if price action does break there, it'll most likely break last week's low, which implies that this may be a hanging man type of top. But we'll see. I think it's going to go much higher. We're closer to breaking highs. We've broken above this consolidation area on Friday and started to move away from that level. 30.50, anywhere between 30.32 here, it looks like, and 30.50. I believe we're going to see some volume up there. And just like I said with SPY, it's going to take some time to determine what that actually implies. What I mean by that is what direction price takes after that level. So on to transports over here. This was always what I was thinking of as bullish engulfing week. As I said in my last video, there was significant participation in some 197, 199 call spreads, which takes price up to around this level right here. Test this prior peak, and it looks to me like price's action is very, very bullish. As you can see, green hammer candle, battleground, green hammer candle. Any dip is being bought, even in transports, which is very strong, very, very positive for the markets. If you follow Dow theory, maybe this is implying that there is going to be a China trade war truce. If they're in the very near future, coming on election year, maybe Trump wants to have that done before he's elected. So it's another card up his sleeve, so to speak, that he can use to promote himself. So that's probably going to play out over the next, we'll call it 6 to 12 months. We'll see what happens. But for now, still overall completely bullish on the markets, transports, financials, nearly everything was actually booming this last week, and we're coming up into the heart of another earnings season. So be careful out there, trade smart, come over, join us at the Trade Crew chat room. It is free, and follow along with some of these live trades. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and good luck on Monday.